Happy Friday, everybody. Welcome to the game plan. My name is Gareth Soloway, Chief Market Strategist here at VerifiedInvesting.com. And of course, we're going to get into the deep dive action within this market, within the commodities, the crypto markets, everything, even covering the Fed and what will likely happen next week. So to summarize, markets are neutral to positive this morning. We've had two nice rally days. I think, again, the CPI and PPI numbers coming in basically in line with estimates. And then as soon as that economic news was out of the way, investors started to say, wow, we are finally going to get that long elusive rate cut that we've expected now for like 2 years, and now it's game on. The problem is, as we know, if you look at the data, when the Fed starts hiking rates, the market actually historically goes down. If you look at where the yield curve is, it inverts. Doesn't matter when it inverts. It's like a warning sign. When it uninverts, which it just uninverted, with 3 to 6 months out, recession. So yes, the investor is excited because we're going to finally see the Fed loosening monetary policy, rates maybe coming down a little bit more, but again, the storm clouds are on that horizon. All right, let's get into it right now here, folks. Here's the S&P pre-market. What do we have going on here? And again, basically, if you look at where the market's closed, right? We look at where the market's closed right here. Yesterday, we're trading up about $1.30 on the SPY. That equates to about 13 points on the S&P 500. So you can see it's just a kind of a gentle, rolling, kind of neutral to upside bias. Now, in all fairness, we've had 2 big days of gains, especially if you take out Wednesday's lows. If you calculate from Wednesday's lows to yesterday's close, it is a monstrous move on the S&P. I think on the NASDAQ, it's close to 6% just from those lows to where we closed yesterday. So markets may be getting a little bit tired. Don't be surprised if we see a flat to slightly down day today, just based on the fact that it's Friday. Some investors may want to take some profits going into a weekend where the stock market's closed for a couple days, but I don't think we see a big sell-off until at least after the Fed announcement next Wednesday. So again, look for that sideways chop for the next few trading days into that announcement. All right, couple other things to go over. We do have stocks making big moves today. Adobe is one of them. So if we take a look at Adobe this morning and we go to the pre-market action, we can see that Adobe's getting crushed. Adobe's earnings themselves were not bad, right? So earnings were good. The guidance. It's always the guidance, folks. Everyone thinks, oh, well, what are they going to announce? Are they going to announce XYZ earnings amounts? Are they going to beat? To be honest, doesn't matter. If they beat, great. But it's about the guidance because the market is always forward looking. So the market's saying, okay, well, that was this last quarter, but what about the next quarter? And that's when the guidance comes into play. So we can see Adobe falling to about $538 today after closing at around $588. Now, if we flip over here and we go to the daily chart, what would be the levels to watch today as a trading opportunity? Okay, so first level, very clear. There's a gap fill right here. All right, so you're talking right around 510, 513, right in that vicinity. And then you have a double bottom pivot low right here, which is right at the even number of 500 Pierce. All right, so those are my two levels, $513 and $500 that I'm going to be watching on Adobe. Now, granted, Adobe's still relatively above that by about $20+. However, it's a $500 stock. So dropping 20 bucks on 500 bucks is not that big of a percentage move. So it's definitely a possibility. Now, on a swing trade basis, for those of you that are swing traders watching this that may not care so much about day trading, we can do this. What we do is we zoom out on the chart and we say, okay, well, what's a more major trend line? And if we draw this in here, this would be my swing trade level where I would, again, I say I would consider it because I always want you guys to know that things change. Markets are fluid, right? So things, by the time Adobe comes down to this level here, they may be far different than they were right this second when I'm saying I'm interested in it. So that's why I say most likely, or I'd reevaluate. But basically, you can see very clearly here, if we go back over here, low, low, low right here. Here's your low. And it looks like it's right around 465 to 470. So 465 to 470. That would be more interesting as a swing trade level. So again, I'm a trader, right? So I'm looking at day trades. I'm looking at swing trades. I'm looking at it all. You guys, obviously, you may be a day trader. You may be a swing trader. This appeals or should appeal to everyone since I cover both. RH, guys, RH getting a big rally this morning. Take a look at that move. This used to be called Restoration Hardware. It was kind of like, it wasn't really a Home Depot. It was more Home Goods and kind of a mix between Home Goods and Home Depot, I kind of feel like, kind of something like that. But in any case, what we can see here is a monster move up. It's up about 20% pre-market. It really just shot up and never had any sort of major pullback, trading at 309 right now after closing yesterday around 255. So let's go to the daily chart. Is there a level here of interest in terms of a day trade as well as a swing trade? Well, let's take a look. So the first thing I'm seeing is, see this pivot top going back here, guys. If we go back to, this would be around the 2023 in August. Connect that to that second major pivot high. Look at this. So look at this. Now this is more of a day trade level. I don't think I'm gutsy enough to short it as a swing trade here. But right here, your high pivot to high pivot, well, guess what? 320 to 315, huge downsloping trend line. Notice that pre-market, the stock's gotten almost up to about 315 and then it stalled out. Well, why is that? Because there's this trend line here. It's lurking. It's a big level of resistance. This will be a really interesting level to watch throughout the course of the day. I'm curious if it even can get through this level during the day. Now, on a swing trade basis, I think there's a gap fill right up here, and it's right above this level. So you have this kind of area right up here with this little double top. Apologize, my lines aren't perfectly straight there, but this tells me between 350 and 360. That would be more on the swing trade short side as a good opportunity, extremely extended into multiple factors of resistance. All right, next stock making a move today is Boeing. Boeing is taking a beating, although actually it's coming back pretty nicely here just in the pre-market. You can see big drop, pre-market sideways, another drop, and then look at this recovery. Just about a week ago, this stock was up on the fact that it looked like they were going to avoid the strike. Now, not so much. The strike is on, and that's why the stock is coming down here. Now, it's not a big enough move percentage-wise for me to get excited as a day trader, but as a swing trader, I want to show you guys a level here. So if we look at this as a swing trader and we zoom out, what we can see is that if you go all the way back to the COVID lows and we take a line and we connect it through the lows of 2022, which was the bear market, we actually have a trend line right across here. So let me just zoom in as much as I can to be able to show it to you guys. So what you have here, guys, again, this is your COVID low, so March 2020, right? Now, we all remember that, or most of us do. Here we have this low, and that level right there, right around 140, maybe 142. That actually should be a pretty good technical support level for a multi-day, multi-week, maybe even a multi-month bounce on Boeing. Now, the nice thing about this level is that you could use a stop based on confirmation. If it closes below and confirms, stop out for a small loss. Very, very simple to do that if you can abide by it. All right, but again, right around 140 to 142 would be my level. All right, the next thing I'm going to do, guys, I'm going to talk about what I call a hidden gem. Okay, and again, this is one I very, very rarely talk about this, guys, but sometimes something comes across my plate that I can't kind of hold back on, and I get so excited about it. You can ask the traders in the room. I'm talking about this like every day for the last few days. The name of the company is Wolfspeed. Wolfspeed is a chip stock, but the chips are not AI chips. It does the EV kind of alternate energy battery backup storage chips. Now, again, not as sexy as AI, as we know. But what I want to show you on this, take a look at the chart, okay? And we're going to actually get into some fundamentals on this as well. So if we look at this chart, and I know it's hard to see, but the stock is literally trading at levels it hasn't seen since 1995 and 1997. In fact, there's a pivot low there I'll show you on the monthly. Okay, so we have this trend line going all the way back here, right? So again, if we go here, we go all the way back here, right down here, right? All these lows, right? All of these lows, and it's right there. Then you see this orange line. Well, we're going to go to the bigger time frame, and I'm going to show you where that orange line comes from. All right, if we zoom out on that and we go to our monthly, look at this, guys. This is pretty wild. So if we go to the monthly, and I have the monthly up now, this low, and I have to move way out of the way here. There's a little pivot high right here. I can't even draw there. There we go. Right there and right there from 1995 and 1997, and it goes all the way here, and we just hit that low. So on a technical basis, this makes some sense, right? Now you might say, wow, look at this. From $140 down to $8. Insane. Okay, and it is insane. But maybe there's a reason, right? I mean, maybe there is, and generally there is. The market is always right, as they say. But what I would just say here is, looking at this, right? If we go to our weekly chart, how far is this down just on the weekly? All right, so just going to the last 9 weeks, the stock has fallen here 70%, just in 9 weeks. Okay, now they didn't have the greatest of earnings, but there's an interesting point to that. They basically were in the process of closing down one plant and opening up one better plant. So there's a little bit of a normalization there. It's not like, oh, their business is sucky or anything like that. They were actually doing this as a process to essentially get the newer technology up and running. All right, now we're going to get into some fundamentals, and I want to show you this stuff, and this is where it gets exciting. So here's Wolfspeed, trading up 13 cents on the day. Usually trades up or down 5 or 10 cents on the day, not a big deal. First thing I want to draw your attention to, I don't know if you guys can see this, but what do we have here? We have a market cap of this is only $1 billion. All right, well, you might say, well, $1 billion, I mean, it's an $8 stock, so be it. Totally get that. Totally get that. But let's do a deep dive in this. All right, so we have a $1 billion company. Now let's go to the financials. Let's look at the financials of this company. So let's click on statistics here. And I'm on Yahoo Finance, by the way. That's just what I grew up using, but there's lots of websites. But if we go down here, this is where things get really interesting. So they're trading at $1 billion market cap. But if we flip over to the financial statement, what we can see is the balance sheet, they have a total of $2.17 billion in cash. So they're trading at 50% of cash value. Now, they do have $6 billion in debt, which is normal. They're bringing these plants online. They cost a lot of money. But the reason why that $6 billion doesn't concern me is because with $2 billion in cash, they can easily cover any of those factors, any of those costs associated with the debt payments on $6 billion for years and years to come. Now, what's even more interesting, and this brings me to like GameStop and the meme stock craze, is that if you look at the amount short, hedge funds and big money, 32, all right, so, and not big money, like just in general, there's 32% of total short shares in the float are short. Now, again, the reason why that's intriguing is because for me, when I find a company that has a lot of cash, that has new technology that's much more energy efficient than anything on the market, that is opening a new plant, that is projected to have incredible revenue growth, better than NVIDIA, and they have 32% of the shares short, what am I thinking? Short squeeze. All right, so again, by no means, and I just want everyone to know, this isn't financial advice. Everyone should do their own research. You guys know that. There's no guarantees in stock trading. We know that. But ultimately, I'm just giving you what I'm finding out, what I am seeing here. So 32% shares short, $2 billion in cash, trading at $1 billion market cap, and I want to show you something even crazier. Now, let's go to some news stories. This came out a couple days ago, and I just happened to take a look at it. It says, NVIDIA is expected to grow quickly through 2026. These companies may grow faster. Okay, so, I'm like, all right, I'm intrigued because it was under Wolfspeed. So I said to myself, okay, well, let me go down and look. So it talked about the companies that are growing the fastest, and guess who's number 2 on the list? Wolfspeed right here, all right, expected from $868 million in revenue, which, by the way, they're basically trading at 1x revenue. Over doubling $1.7 billion in revenue by 2026 in terms of sales. So again, huge growth, beaten down to 1995-97 levels. All right, cash on hand, short out the yin-yang. All of these factors looking like there's something here. All right, so again, that was interesting to kind of see as well. And then the other thing I want to just talk about is their technology. So here we have this came out just a couple days ago. Wolfspeed unveils cutting-edge silicon carbide module solutions to boost clean energy capacity. So again, as I said, this company does clean energy chips, essentially semiconductors, but for clean energy. And one of the things this says, and I'll read it out loud because you guys may not be able to see, Wolfspeed, the global leader in silicon carbide technologies, today unveiled a silicon carbide module designed to transform the renewable energy, energy storage, and high-capacity fast charging sectors through improved efficiency, durability, reliability, and scalability. All right, so the idea here is that, granted, the EV sector, no one wants him to be involved in there, but listen, especially with robo-taxis coming and all these other things, they're mostly going to be electric vehicles, let's be fair. I mean, especially with Tesla involved. The chips there are much more energy efficient than anything on the market, much better, etc. Look for that. This technology is something to keep an eye on. Now, again, to me, it's a hidden gem. You don't put a lot in it. For me, I put some money in it, no doubt about it. I'm involved. I don't know where I'd want to unload it if it pops, but ultimately, I just want you guys to be aware that there are potential hidden gems out there that may not pan out, but they also may pan out. And with that short interest, it is very, very interesting with their technology. All right, guys, so just wanted to go over that. Maybe I'll start doing one of these reports every so often for you guys because I think it is kind of intriguing to look at that. But that chart is just amazing how beaten down it is. All right, so let's get into Bitcoin here, guys. Let's go into Bitcoin real quick, and we'll get on the motion here, or get on the roll. Bitcoin today is trading right around the flat line, ever so slightly lower. Not really much has changed this week for Bitcoin. You had the early upside kind of on Monday, then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. But aside from that Monday move, it's really been sideways consolidation. Now, again, the only thing that concerns me for Bitcoin is that the stock market's kept going higher and Bitcoin's kind of stalled out. So what happens if the stock market falls? Will Bitcoin be able to withstand that? We don't know. But what we do know is the bearish bullish pivot line is there, and it still, again, favors the bearish side. Okay, I'll look at Ethereum as long as we got a little extra time today. Ethereum, guys, is really pretty darn weak. Pretty darn weak. So if you look at Bitcoin, the bounce on Bitcoin compared to Ethereum, very weak. But there's a silver lining. I have a huge technical support just below this $2,000 level, and I do like it. So if we dump out and pierce 2,000, I will be a pretty heavy buyer of Ethereum. So again, while it's weak, sometimes weakness can generate opportunity if things fall. Just like in all fairness, I'm a huge long-term bull on Bitcoin. If Bitcoin falls sharply, I'll pick some up. Sounds good to me. All right, next up, let's take a look at oil real quick and see what oil's doing. Oil's continuing to bounce here. Again, you guys know my game plan on this. I've talked to you guys about it the last few days, right? So we shorted up here, right? Let me put that up there. Shorted up here, covered right down in this range, went a little lower, retraced, that's my short level right there. So basically 72 to 73. The macro data continues to weaken. As long as China doesn't have this some sort of major rebound, oil should still remain to the downside, especially as the U.S. continues to weaken. Gold today, let's take a look at gold. Gold pushing above this little parallel channel. Nice little day on gold today so far. Very, very good move. 2660 is my next level, guys. And again, that's a logarithmic chart trend line. It connects the high from 1979 to 2011 to where it would hit, and that's right around 2660. So this is now less than $100 away from that next target. I honestly was in the mindset that I thought it would only be hit probably by year end at earliest, but here we are, less than $100 away, so you never know. Maybe we'll get there. Silver, let's look at silver here real quick, and silver continues to rocket higher here, now above 30, potential breakout. This might mean we head back to 3250, this level, but don't forget, we do have a level right in here that has to be monitored. So this is right around 31, so that'll be first resistance, and second resistance right around 32 to 3250 on the chart of silver. All right, but really nice moves. I mean, great moves on silver, great moves on gold. You guys know Palladium's been one of my favorites. Palladium just continued to rocket yesterday higher. If we take a look at Palladium just go today. Wow, Palladium just having another rocket ship up, broke out and just confirmed and continuing up here. Same thing, it's going to have some resistance right up around, you know, I would say 1080, 1085, this little pivot right up here. But for the most part, any sort of pullbacks on Palladium to the scene of the crime, huge buying opportunity. I'm still long Palladium, but nonetheless, anyone that's not, I wouldn't be buying up here, to be honest. It's just that's chasing to me. That's a cardinal sin in investing. But any sort of pullback, which will eventually come, you just buy there, and then you look for that next leg up. You can keep your stop just below there. Easy enough trading opportunity on the charts. All right, so that's where we stand at this point. Let me just go over natural gas, as that is nearing a shortable level. It is knocking on the door of the underbelly. Where am I looking to short? Probably in the upper range right around here. So I'd like for it to go just into that zone. This is my short zone right here. I'm trying to be a stickler and get like the best entry on the short, you know, which would be just in the high end of this versus just at the low end where it currently is. if I miss it, I don't really care that much. You know, it's one of those things. There's always trades, especially when you trade crypto, commodities, and stocks. There's always another trade around the corner. So keep an eye on that for the natural gas chart there. All right, lastly, folks, I just wanted to quickly go over one final thing with you guys. So if we flip over here and we go to Verified Investing's website, don't forget, guys, there's a simple product here, $20. And you can see it's the Advanced Trader News. I do a daily market report every night, written. There's every weekend I do 3 trades for the coming week alert. We have other traders doing reports. There's education posted on a daily basis. There's rewind. There's one trade alert that comes out every day for $20. And the idea here is I'm fully aware that not everyone has the ability to spend $150 or $400 trading room. And I always want to make something that allows everyone to get involved. And this is that product right there. So very, very good product. Granted, you're not going to get the type of daily videos that you get in our other services, but here are the reports that you get right here. So my 3 top trades, there's a trade of the day. So 3 top trades comes out on the weekends for the next week. And it's funny because I kind of pigeonhole myself in these 3 top trades. What I do is I say, I take the Monday morning open as my entry, and I take the Friday close. So literally I'm pitching, by the way, it makes it very, very hard, right? But those are the 2 points of interest, and that's how the results are calculated each week. In the following report, I go over the previous week. So it honestly is really hard on myself, but I like it. It's like a task. It's like, okay, well, what's gonna move exactly in the coming week? Trade of the day is done by Ben right here. Trade Rewind by Drew, where he analyzes Ben's trade from 1 week ago. How did it perform? Why did it do well? Why didn't it do well? Daily market report by me, and Dr. B does daily education. So a lot of bang for your buck for $20, guys. And I just want to throw it out there because, again, as I said, Verified Investing isn't meant to be for just the elites, for just the rich, for just even the middle income. I want everyone to try to learn and educate themselves. So anyways, hope you guys found that useful. Thank you guys so much for another wonderful week with you guys, for all your kind words, for all your comments, for supporting Verified Investing. You all go have a great weekend, and of course, I'll see you back Monday. Take care.